Hi everyone, in today's video we're taking a look at the Canon EOS R Revolution. That's right, we're checking out the EOS R announcement that just came out today, 8 a.m. It is currently before breakfast for me and I'm already shooting this video. I'm too excited. I gotta let you know what they said. So you've probably already heard of this whole Canon EOS R5 with the 8K capabilities and the 10-bit internal recording and all the basically the rumors that have been circling on the internet. These are confirmed, and not only that, they finally gave us one big point that we didn't have access to before, and that's the cost, the price of these two new cameras that they're unveiling. So just to give you the full picture, no pun intended, you have the EOS R5, which is going to be an 8K camera. Internally, it can film RAW up to 10-bit. It has a new 5-axis in-body stabilization. It has I think 4K up to 120 frames per second, so you can get crazy slow-mo and you can have it in 4K. And most importantly, no crop. That mixed in with the C-Log and all the amazing Canon native incredible qualities of the color rendition, it just becomes the perfect camera that we've all been waiting for. As a Canon fanboy myself, I am proud to say that I stuck with our guns and we kept it going and we finally had the camera we want. It's expensive. It's expensive. I mean, it is first of its kind, but it is also very expensive. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have the R6, which actually isn't a compromise at all. You still get 4K 60 frames. You still get 1080 120. You get C-Log. You get 10-bit 422 internal recording. I mean, you're not really compromising on anything. I think the closest thing we can compare this R6 is the GH5, which has similar specs, but also has a Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is a huge difference. You're not going to get the same shallow depth of field. Low light performance is going to be affected. I think this did something ridiculous, like ISOs going into 250,000. This is going to be a ridiculously powerful camera. And you know what? It might just be the one I'm going to pick up. I'm not going to go through all the full specs with you, but I'm going to read a few from the Canon website. Their website was down, at least Canon Canada was down since last night up until this morning. And I just got the email to announce the new upcoming cameras with the new updated pricing and whatnot. So I'm assuming either their server crashed or they were updating their website to accommodate the new pages with the new products like the printers and different lenses, because they have a new mount now, is the RF mount. But I'm going to focus simply on the R5 and R6, and I'm going to read you a few of these specs so you have an idea of what we're talking about. Alright, so Canon EOS R5 key features are 45 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor, so that's already incredible for pictures, but I wasn't doubting that the pictures were going to be great because Canon has never disappointed in that field. Then you have up to 20 FPS silent shutter, that's electronical shutter, and then you have eye detection autofocus. So apparently, from what they showed in their keynote video, this feature is going to be tremendously accurate. So we're taking a look at dual pixel AF, but now with eye detection, which is apparently very, very efficient and very well crafted. Even in low light, you'll be getting an amazing autofocus capability. I mean, even from the 70D, Canon has been amazing at autofocus, dual pixel autofocus and phase detection. So now with the new eye detection features, or at least with the improved eye detection features, it's going to be a breeze for either pictures or video. So that's going to be amazing. It has, of course, as we said, 8K up to 30 frames per second in 12-bit RAW internally, mind you. Then you also have 4K up to 120 also internally, and you have IBIS, so the in-body stabilization, up to 8 stops. So from what I saw in the video, they were basically taking pictures up to 4 seconds handheld. This is a shutter up to 4 seconds handheld. I've never even attempted to go under a 15th of a second. And you're going to tell me 4 seconds like this and you're not going to see a shake? I'll believe it when I see it. And then there's going to be also the video capabilities. So apparently tremendous video capabilities. And the IBIS of the camera apparently works great with the IS of the lens, and they work together to balance out any shake or movement. So apparently those are going to be just great features right out of the box. And then if you want a gimbal, you throw on a gimbal, but you don't even need one. apparently. Then you have the Canon EOS R6. The key features on the website are 20 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor. Obviously, it's not going to be as powerful as the 45 megapixel, which is going to have a lot more quality and resolution in pictures, but 20 is very good. I would have liked maybe a 30 megapixel, kind of like the EOS R. I think it's a good middle ground, but 20 is fine. And you know what? For the quality that you're getting out of 20, it's already more than enough for most people. If you're taking professional, huge format images, then you might want to reconsider that choice. Same thing on the FPS, so the speed of capture up to 20 FPS in silent shutter. It's going to be an electronical shutter. And then you're going to have the same eye detection autofocus. You're also going to have 4K up to 60 frames, and you're going to have 1080 up to 120. So slow-mo is now possible in 1080 and slight slow-mo in 4K. And you have the same IBIS up to 8 stops. So just the fact that they didn't take away that IBIS in the lower end model, to me, is amazing, because that's probably the model I'm going to go with, honestly. The price also is important to consider. You have the EOS R5, which is going to be $5,400 in Canadian dollars. Then you add the tax. In Quebec here, it's 15%. You're already looking over $6,000. Then you're taking a look at, this is just the body, by the way, which I'm going to need an adapter for these guys here for my already existent EF mounts. Then you compare that to the EOS R6, which is going to be 3,500 Canadian dollars, which comes out with the tax to about $4,000. It's a huge difference. I mean, it is $2,000 of basically equipment that you could be buying, or just, you know what, money in your pocket. $2,000 is a lot of money. And just to be able to save that money without necessarily compromising too much on quality, I'll be honest with you, I'll probably, even if I have the feature, never use the 8K. I'll use it to maybe do a review on it, to explain a bit how it works. But in a real life environment, I'll never use 8K. I know, you know, they mentioned in the keynote, yes, I would have missed that shot if I had to switch lenses, because I can crop in the 8K and whatnot.
But I knew that I could have lost that moment if I changed the lens. I was able to shoot the scene from the distance and then reframe it.
I'll be honest with you, the fact that I'm moving to 4K specifically and having that 60 frames per second in 4K, and I can do that slow-mo in 1080p, that's sufficient enough for me. I would have liked 4K 120 in the R6, but again, you can't get everything, and I think what we have right now is perfectly fine for at least my needs. The IBIS is a huge deal for me. I think that and the 422 10-bit internal with C-Log is the two things that really sold me on this camera. I've always trusted Canon with my colors. I've always trusted Canon also with the autofocus, so the fact that it has eye detection is great, but mainly the problem was stabilization. You compared it to its counterparts from different companies that were using maybe Micro Four Thirds and obviously smaller sensors that were able to move easier within the body without reaching those edges of the frame. Considering that a full frame sensor with IBIS is an amazing thing to have, and apparently works very good. We'll test it out. But those are the key features that really interest me. 4K, I think, is I mean, at this point, it's basic. You can't really go non-4K in a camera in 2020. And it's probably, I think, one of the only non-crops 4K now that I'm thinking of it, because even Sony has a slight crop in 4K, I think. I don't really shoot Sony, so I don't really know. But you know what? 4K no crop, comparing it to the EOS R, which had like almost a 2-time crop when I had the adapter for the RF to EF mount. It was like unusable, basically. So let's have a 24 mil on a full frame, which would give me this. I was shooting at like 48. It was ridiculous. I was basically getting a portrait lens out of a wide angle. It made no sense. As far as I'm concerned, the 4K with that crop is unusable, which is why I waited so long and never actually bought the EOS R. I have one in my hands right now because my good friends at Gosselin Photo were able to supply me with one of these in the time that I was waiting for the EOS R5 or R6 to drop. I am the first on the waiting list on either one of these cameras, so I just got to make my choice. I think I'm leaning towards the R6, mainly for cost reasons, because honestly, I'm not losing that much between both, and they were great with that. By the way, they're a Quebec-based store for all your photo needs, video needs, all that stuff. So definitely check them out if you're looking for either camera gear, photo gear, video gear. Print Labs, they do prints. They're the one that developed all my 35mm film. So they're there and they do a great job and they have great customer service. Well, that was it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the section below. And hey, I'll see you next time. Peace!